I just made the task card bigger so that we could see it, because I'm an old lady and I have to be able to read it. So the first time, you're gonna read through it on your own, but because we have a pencil, can I borrow your pencil? But because we don't wanna take forever, we're just gonna go to here. We're not gonna read the whole thing, okay? So we're just gonna go to part of it. So the first time you read to here, and then the second time, I will start, and we'll read every other word. The teacher always starts, and so we always try to think about the person who is the faster reader or the better reader starts to kind of model for the other student, but you guys are all probably about the same pace, so it doesn't matter. But we'll read every other one, and then we'll switch, and you'll start, and then I'll read every other one, and then we'll read it again, and you'll hear the difference from the first read to the last read, what the difference is for them, okay? And then the teacher always points to the words so that we can stay on track, and the teacher is pushing the pace. So we don't want any pauses between how we read. So if he pauses, I want to make sure to get my word in right away, because the whole point of it is to make sure that we sound like one reader instead of reading each word separately. That's kind of the purpose behind it. Make sense? All right, so you start. Read to here.
All right, Uncle Sam have been a politic symbol.
That word is political.
Political symbol since the early 19th century. But although since Uncle Sam now symbolizes the United States, the first Uncle Sam, the real man whom the symbol used based was a.
That word is was. What word?
Symbol was based was a bucket.
That word is butcher.
Butcher. Samuel Wilson supplied the American army with pork during the War of 1812. On each barrel of his pork, Wilson stamped the letter U.S. One day, a visitor to Wilson's meat packing plant asked about the stamps.
Yeah. When he makes a mistake, we just say that word is political. What word? You have them say it, and then they just read it and go on. We're not going to talk about it forever. We're not going to say, oh, you messed that up. It's not political. It's political. You forgot the end. We're not going to go into that. We're just going to tell them the word and keep moving on, because we want to get through it, right? We don't want it to last forever. So that just wanted to tell them that. Okay, we're going to read every other word. I'll start. Uncle
Sam
has
been
a
political
symbol
since
the
early
19th
century,
but
although
Uncle
Sam
now
symbolizes
the
United
States.
The
First,
Uncle
Sam,
the
real
man
on
whom
the
symbol
was
based
a butcher.
Samuel
Wilson
supplied
the
Americans
army
with
pork
during
the
United War
of
1812.
on
Each
barrel
of
is
pork
Wilson
stamped
the
letter
U.S.
one
day
a
visitor
to
Wilson's
meatpacking
plant
asked
about
the
stamp. Your turn.
Uncle
Sam
has
been
a
political
symbol
since
the
early
19th,
century,
but
although
Uncle
Sam
now
symbolizes
the
United
symbol. Oh, I'm up here. State.
has
States.
the first
Uncle
Sam
the
real
man
on
the whom
the
symbol
was
based
was
a
butcher.
so Samuel
Wilson
supplied
the
American
army
with
pork
during
the
War
of
1812.
on
Each
barrel
of
is
pork
Wilson
stamped
the
letter
U.S.
one
day
a
visitor
to
Wilson's
meatpacking
plant
as
about
the
stamp. So I said 2 words in a row, so halfway through I switched it up, but we're just going to keep going because it's about practice. Now read it again.
the whole thing.
Yep.
Like stop there or the whole thing.
No, just stop here.
Okay. Uncle Sam has been a political symbol since the early 19th century, but although Uncle Sam now symbolizes the United States, the first Uncle Sam, the real man whom symbolizes, was based with a butcher. Samuel Wilson supplied the American army with pork during the War of 1812. On each barrel of pork, Wilson stamped the letter U.S. One day, a visitor to Wilson's meatpacking plant asked about the stamp.
See the difference? Yeah, it makes a difference. Now you're going to be the teacher. You come turn this chair around, and you guys are going to do it together. Now you're going to be the pro once you've read it already once, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll kind of see how they do it. If she makes a mistake, what are you going to do?
Point to it.
Yep, or tell her the word, but she might not know how to read it.
So
Okay.
do I like stop here?
Yeah,
or
we'll
go
copy
ahead?
yours in. Make it easy. So we wanna make sure that we're correcting our errors. Did you have any errors the second time around? Didn't have any. So that's number one. It's gonna, get you more used to the words. These passages are a little bit, whatever, from what, did we cite 1980 something?
Yeah.
So they're a little older, so there's gonna be words in here you don't know, which is perfectly fine, but that's a good way to build your vocabulary. So here's your pencil if you wanna use that to point. But you're the teacher, tell her what you're gonna do,
Alright,
what she should do.
she should read first.
Yep.
Let's stop there.
Uncle Sam has been a political symbol since the early 19th century. But although Uncle Sam now symbolizes the United States, the first Uncle Sam, the real man on whom the symbol was based, was a butcher. Samuel Wilson supplied the American army with pork during the War of 1812. On each bale of his pork, Wilson stamped the letters U.S. One day, a visitor to Wilson's meatpacking plant asked about the stamp.
Alright, now, we go back and forth, right?
Yes, you start.
I start, alright, Uncle
Sam,
I would point to each word so you
Okay.
guys can stay on track.
Sam
has
been
a
political
symbol
since
the
early
19th
century.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you real quick. Remember, we wanna make sure that we cut down those pauses in between words, so really push her pace. So
Okay.
make sure that you're saying your word right after, so you sound like one reader. Keep
19th.
going.
Century.
But
Although
Uncle
Sam
now
symbolizes
the
United
States
the
first
Uncle
Sam
the
real man. Oopsies.
It's easy to do.
man
on
whom
the
symbol
was
base a
butcher
Samuel
Wilson
supplied
the
American
army
with
pork
during
the
War
of
1912.
on
1812.
on
Each
burial
of
his
pork
Wilson
stamped
the
letters
U.S.
one
Day
a
visitor
to
Wilson's
meatpacking
plant
asked
about
the
stamps. Stamp.
Now who's third?
It's my no, it's hers, right?
Correct.
Didn't I just
Yep.
do it?
And really think about those pauses and cutting those pauses down so you sound like one reader.
Uncle
Sam
has
been
a
political
symbol
since
the
early
19th,
century,
but
although
Uncle
Sam
now
symbolizes
the
United
States
the
first
Uncle
Sam
the
real
man
on
whom
the
symbol
was
based
a
a
butcher.
Samuel
Wilson
supplied
the
Americans
army
with
pork
during
the
the War
of
1812.
on
Each
bale
of
his
pork
Wilson
stamped
the
letter
U.S.
on one
Day
a
visitor
to
Wilson's
meatpacking
plant
as
about
the stamp.
stamp.
Now you read it all.
Uncle Sam has been a political symbol since the early 19th century, but although Uncle Sam now symbolizes the United States, the first Uncle Sam, the real man on whom the symbol was based, was a butcher. Samuel Wilson supplied the American army with pork during the War of 1812. On each bale of his pork, Wilson stamped the letters U.S. One stamp. One day, a visitor to Wilson's meatpacking plant asked about the stamp.
Very nice. So the difference between the two, and what's the point really? We have to make sure that we're doing what? Cutting the, yes, cutting the pauses. Okay, now based on, I'm sorry. So this paragraph shrank, here's kind of the directions on that. So first of all, who or what was that paragraph about?
Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam, yep. Okay, and then we need one to three. Identify 1 to 3 important details about the who or what.
It was in the 19th century, and meatpacking, it was a meatpacking plant. Yes. He was a butcher.
Oops. Anybody have something to add that's an important detail? We talk about Uncle Sam and what they read. century, meatpacking plant, and he was a butcher. Are those the three most important things?
And I'm going to war of 1812.
War of 1812,
His
What?
real name is Samuel Wilson.
Samuel Wilson. Oops, I think I spelled it wrong. Samuel Wilson, and what did he do at the War of 1812?
Give the meat to the U.S. Army.
Yeah, he supplied meat, right? Okay, so when we do this, which ones are the most important? Is the meat packing plant important, or that he supplied meat during the war important?
So it's probably me.
Supplied meat, so we can probably take that one off, right? Because we know he's a butcher and he supplied meat, so that's not an important detail anymore. All right, so we really want to pick the three most important ones. So Samuel Wilson, 19th century, which one's more important?
19th century.
19th century, because we know how long it happened, right? So we're gonna take off his real name, because we can say he's a real person without knowing his name, right? Okay, what's the next step?
To shrink it.
To shrink it, right? How many words can we use?
8 to 12.
All right, so give me a sentence using these things that we put up here.
Uncle Sam was a butcher in the 19th century, and he supplied meat in the war of 1812.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We need 12. We gotta subtract 5 words.
In the war of 1812, Uncle Sam was a butcher in the 19th century.
Okay. So we didn't have to do supplied meat because he was a butcher. So, and supplied meat is gone, so that's 3, right? Uncle Sam was a butcher in the 19th century. But you said in the War of 1812, is that what you said?
What? I don't know.
You don't remember? Anybody remember?
That's what he said.
Is that what he said? In the War of 1812, Uncle Sam
Was a butcher in 19th century. In the 19th century.
Okay, so now let me ask you this. When is the 19th century?
The 1900s.
Nope, the 1800s.
Oh.
So it's always the one before. So now I have the year and I have the 19th century. Do I need both?
No.
No, so what can I take out?
Wait,
Century.
you need the war.
I want the war, right? Because
So
we
you
know.
have to take out the city.
So I can take out in the 19th century. So he was a butcher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But does that tell me exactly what Uncle Sam is? In the War of 1812, Uncle Sam was a butcher
And supplied meat.
and supplied meat, right?
Wait,
Okay.
that's 13 words.
So that's okay. And supplied meat. But Uncle Sam, so I learned this from Miss Daly the other day. Uncle Sam, comma, a butcher. I can take out Sam, supplied meat. In the War of 1812, Uncle Sam, a butcher, so that's called in the positive. So we're just explaining who Uncle Sam is. So we separate it by commas. Uncle Sam, a butcher, supplied meat. Do I have enough words now?
That's 11.
Huh?
That's 11 words.
That's 11
Okay.
words. Is that 8 to 12? Does that work? You really have to think cognitively about what's important and shrink down our paragraphs so that we have the important thing in that one sentence. That's the whole point of that paragraph shrink, is to really get the important stuff. Because I could have used all these things, but does that really tell me who Uncle Sam is? We really want you to think about that one sentence that really gives me the best, the most details around that main idea, which is Uncle Sam. So that's what the paragraph shrink is supposed to do. So if you turn in a sentence to Ms. Zalick and it says, Uncle Sam lived in the 19th century and worked at a meat packing plant, that might be under 12 words, but does that really give me the main idea? So she's really going to be looking for that main idea. So one sentence instead of writing a paragraph or 5-paragraph essay about something, we can do it in 1 sentence. So we really are trying to train you how to get the most bang for your buck out of 1 sentence instead of having to write big long papers. Does that make sense? Yeah, and really making sure that you understand those main ideas. Okay, so those are how we do those 2 things. So we're gonna do it again. So I have these papers, but this time, you have other things you need to get done, and you're okay with them practicing?
They can practice.
Perfect. Okay, so this time I have a check-off sheet that says exactly what you should do when you do duet reading. So since these 2 did it, they're going to watch and make sure that we're doing it the right way. So do you guys want to be partners?
Sure.
Who's going to be the teacher?
I will.
Perfect. And then I'll be your partner, you can be the teacher. Okay? So I'll read with you. So you watch us, and you watch her and make sure that she's doing all the steps right, and then you watch these gentlemen and make sure they're doing all the steps right. Okay? Sound good? All right. So this is a good way, this little checklist, this is a good way to make sure that we're doing it the right way. So you guys can go ahead and start, and he'll watch and interrupt them if they're doing something incorrectly, or if they're not cutting out the pauses, or if they're not doing the
Do I
word
just read
corrections.
everything?
Yeah, just like he did and just like I did. So you're
Oh.
just gonna be the teacher. So
Uncle
every day
Sam-
when you do it. Oh wait, if you're the teacher. who
You're the
reads it?
teacher, I'll be the student.
Okay.
Uncle Sam has been a politics symbol since the
teacher.
early 19th centuries. But although Uncle
Okay,
Sam now
so where?
symbolizes the United States, the first Uncle Sam, the real man on whom the symbol was based, was a butcher. Samuel Wilson
Uncle Sam
supplied
has
the
been a
American
political
army with
symbol
hope
since
during
the
the
early
War of
19th
1812.
But
On
although
each
Uncle
barrel
Sam
of his
now
boat,
symbolizes the
Wilson
United
stamped
States,
the
first
letter
Uncle Sam, the
US
real man on whom the
one
symbol
day.
was based,
A
was
visitor
butcher.
to Wilson
Samuel
meets
Wilson
packing
supplied
grant
the
at
American
Pakistan.
army with pork
What
during
if
the War of 1812?
Wilson's employee told the visitor
On each
that the
barrel of
U.S.
his
stood
boat,
for
Wilson
Uncle Sam?
stamped the letters
Actually,
US.
the employee
One
had
day,
just
the
made
Richard
up the
Wilson's
name as a
packing
joke.
plant
But
had
2
Uncle
newspaper
Sam.
reporters were also present on that tour, published the conversation in the newspaper. By the 1830s, Uncle Sam had become a character who appeared widely in politic cartoons. By 950.
You don't need to read that part.
Oh,
If you guys want to shorten it up, you can. That's up to the teacher. And it might be easier if you guys move closer together. If you guys move your desks by each other.
So when I read every other word, I start first. Uncle
Sam,
has
Ben,
a.
politic,
This word is political.
political,
Symbol.
sense,
The
early
19th.
century.
But
Although
Uncle
Sam
now
symbolizes
the
United
States
the
first
Uncle
Sam
the
real
man
on
whom
the
symbol
was
base of
butcher
Samuel
Wilson
supplied
the
American
army
with
pork
during
the
War
of
1812.
on
Each
barrel
of
his
pork
Wilson
stamp
stamp. The
rattles
U.S.
one
Day
of
visitor
2
Wilson's
repacking
plan
acts
about
the
stamp
1
of
Wilson's
employees
told
the
visitor
that
the
U.S.
stood
for
Uncle
Sam.
Uncle Sam has been a political symbol since the
Actually,
early 19th century, but
the
although Uncle
employee
Sam now symbolizes the United States.
the
First Uncle Sam, the real man
employee
on whom the symbol
had
was based,
just
was a butcher.
made
Samuel Wilson supplied
the
American army
name
with pork during the War
as
of 1812.
joke
On each
but
barrel of his pork, Wilson stamped
two
the letters US. One day,
newspapers
the third Wilson's meat packing
reporters
plant asked
who
about the stamp.
were
also
So how'd you do?
present
The only thing
on
we recommend
that
is when you're doing this
tool
part,
published
try to remove
the
conversation
in
the
newspaper
by
the
1830s
Uncle
Sam
had
become
a
character
who
appeared
widely
in this word is political
political
cartoons. Okay. Now you read first. We'll go every other word.
should we shorten it?
I'm sure we'll go halfway. We'll stop at stand. Then
Okay. Uncle
Sam
has
been
a
political
symbol
since
the
early
19th,
century,
but
although
Uncle
Sam
now
symbolizes
the
United
States
the
force
Uncle
Sam
the
wheel
man
on
whom
the
symbol
was
was a
Bushel
Samuel
Wilson
supply
the
American
Army
with
pulled
the during
the
war
of
1812
on
each
barrel
of
his
Fort
Wilson
stand. Great job.
So you guys are like competing like for each other, like who can beat who. You guys not really flowing. It's like a back and forth, like a competition. Almost sound like.
So what do we need them to do? Shorten the.
Yeah, shorten the pauses. You guys pausing way too much. Like it's like this. You here and then he's there, and you here and he's there. It's not really flowing. It's like pause after pause. Like it seemed like a period after every word, pretty much.
like comma.
Which is practice, so that's why you have to do it, but you always have to shorten the pauses, and I told her the exact same thing, didn't I? That shorten those pauses between the words so you sound like one reader. If we just do every other word, then it's more about the words, and it's not about the flow of the sentences, so we want it to sound like phrasing. So that's really the point, so always be thinking about it. Now, obviously, you have to pay attention to the words, but always be thinking about shortening those pauses. So if you're gonna compete about who can say it faster behind each other instead of who can say it longer or better.
Mm-hmm.
Teacher, what's the last step?
Reread.
Had to read the whole thing.
Well, no, to where we pause.
Uncle Sam has been a
This word is political.
political symbol since the early 19th century, but although Uncle Sam now symbolizes the United States, the first Uncle Sam, the real man on whom the symbol was based, was Bushel. Samuel Wilson supplied the American Army with pork during the War of 1812. On each barrel of his pork, Wilson stand. I'm just gonna read it all. Wilson stamped the letters U.S. one day, a symbol. A visitor to Wilson's meatpacking plant asked about the stamp. One of Wilson's employees told the visitor that the U.S. stood for Uncle Sam. Actually, the employee had just made up the name as a joke, but two newspapers reporters
Present.
who were also present on that tour published the conversation in the newspaper. By the 1830s, Uncle Sam had become a character who appeared widely in the political cartoons.
Great job.
I loved your feedback. That word is political. You just told him what it was, and he moved on. That was great. And then when he was done, he said, "Good job. That's nice feedback." So, nice job, teacher.
Keep thinking it is politics.
Political, yeah. Yeah. Politics is the base word. Yep. So political is just another word from that. So you knew the base word, and that's what you wanted to say, which is fine. But we have to always put those endings on as well. And he gave you great feedback on those things. So when you come in, I don't know how you kind of work your stations, but get your partner right away, sit down, get it done. We don't want to spend 10, 15, 20 minutes on this stuff. We want to get it done. But the whole point of it is that practicing that oral reading, because do they all have fluency goals?
Not all of them.
Probably don't, yeah.
No. 2 of them.
Two of them, yep. So making sure that you're always practicing those so that you can get to that pace you want, and then we don't have to have that fluency goal anymore. We can just work on the classroom stuff. Because that's really our goal, is to get off of those fluency goals. But you have some other good readers and other good models, so that's good
Yeah.
for you guys, because then you can get off a lot faster than some of the others, because you have good models to do it. So, do we understand the paragraph shrink and how to do the duet reading? Yeah? Have a little more purpose for why we're doing it? Perfect. So if it's taking you longer than 6-7 minutes to get it done, then shorten up your reading, because we don't want to spend 10-15 minutes doing this. It should be done in about 6 to 7. Sound good? So just pay attention to that teacher, whoever's the teacher. Pay attention that you're getting through it pretty quick. No pauses in between them. You read it, they read it together, and then you're done. 4 times through is fine. And these are nice and short, perfect ones that she's picked for you. So if it's taking too long, you can cut them off like we did as well. Can I still do the paragraph shrink even though I didn't read the whole paragraph? Yeah, we totally did. So you can just take your page over or whatever. Are they supposed to do both?
What?
The paragraph
Together?
shrink, can you do it?
Yes, no. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So after you read it, then we're gonna write that one sentence. And you can do it together.
Right.
So don't think you have to write that one sentence by yourself. You know how we did it together? Do it together with your partner. Because then it's gonna go faster too, and you have another person to help you think through what works and what doesn't work, and you can learn from each other as well. So always use your friends.
Mrs. Thompson, do you ever have whoever the teacher is at that point time the student his or her first and fourth time?
You certainly can do that.
I did that yesterday with a student and she improved over 40 seconds.
Yes, it is amazing.
It's just fun to see, so we might add in that too.
Well, we saw some data. I did the effect size
Yeah.
on those kids yesterday. So there's a junior high class that is doing 6-minute solution. It's a little different than what you guys are doing. It takes longer. It says 6 minutes, but it
Yeah.
only takes longer. But we did the effect. They've been doing it all year, and kids have grown 2 years
Wow.
in their words per minute in 1 year just by doing this practice over and over again. So Mrs. Zalek was like, yes, then I won't have so many kids coming. We can do fun stuff instead of the boring
Right.
stuff, right?
Yeah. All fun.
Yeah, but yeah, it was
Right.
2 years, bro.
Wow.
I know, I was shocked. No, that
Yeah.
wasn't all kids, but